I'm coming, I'm coming. I'm coming. Morning. Beautiful today. Should we talk about Ragun? No, I don't mean that Ragun. I mean this Ragun. A 32, 34-year-old Australian woman who's qualified, has made it through to the Olympics in Paris last week. Breakdancing was part of the Olympics, and Australia, or somehow, they seem to think that this is the best that Australian women have to offer when it comes to the Olympics. Now, I remember watching the X Factor a few years back, and I remember when there was 4 like dads that got on the stage, and there's like the golf jumpers and stuff like that, and Simon Cowell was like, what's going on there? And they started doing dad dancing. Before you know it, they were doing break dancing, doing proper windmills and stuff like that. And at the time, it was so funny, it was amazing. It was like, those lads got their right moment, right time, and everything. If they did it now, I think they've actually passed the time. I think they've missed it. They've missed the moment. And that's pretty much what I'm talking about at the moment today. It's like, when do you know? When do you know when is the right time? And when do you know when you've missed your moment? Because this Australian lass, she's clearly missed a moment. Now, there's a couple of things here. Let me just swap your hands. I've got the lead in my hand. There's a couple of things at play here. The first thing at play is that what Australian women have best to offer when it comes to breakdancing? I genuinely believe no. When you talk about a country the size of Australia and the popularity of how breakdancing so popular is, I used to do it when I was 16. Or no, I actually started doing it when I was 13. And by the time I was 16, I was half decent. Could never do the windmill. But I knew there was a time when you had to stop, and I had to stop from there. The thing about this Ragun is, this is what's the difference between amateurs and professionals. She's classed now as a professional sportsman. I was a professional sportsman, as you're aware. The thing is, an amateur, like ourselves, looking at what she's doing, none of us could do what she's doing. No amateur can do what she does. The trouble is, in a professional world, she's the worst that the professional athletes have to offer, because she scored 0 points all across the board. Now, as I mentioned, I was actually a professional sportsman. This was me. It's not bad, is it? It's not bad when you look at that. The thing is, I don't think any amateur would be able to put a swing on like that and hit a ball the way I could hit a ball. But any professional looking at that would absolutely rip it to pieces, because of all the faults that's in there that the amateur's eyes can't see. Now, I realised this. I took a break from golf, came years ago, and then 2 years later I tried to get back into it, and it completely passed me by. So I knew there was a time to quit, and that's when I quit. And I don't have any regrets on it. I have regrets that I was never the standard that I wanted to be at, but in my own head, for me, I knew it was time to quit for my own sanity, because I'd spend all day just beating myself up. Because you can either pretend and believe who you're as good as everybody else, like most probably this Ragun does. I'm still going to come back to that because I'm still not sure about that. Or you can make peace with yourself, make peace with your mind, make peace with your body. The realisation is you've hit a standard which was good, but you've not hit a standard nowhere near where you want it to be, or nowhere near where the elite players are. And then it's time to move on. Now, just getting back to this Australian, this Ragun. She's 32 or 34 years of age. She's a studier of the craft of breakdancing. She's average to poor at best when I look at it. But she's managed to manipulate her way into a position where Team Australia have decided to take her onto the other side of the globe and then to represent a country. Is that then her fault that she's took that opportunity and not giving it to an opportunity to someone who's actually got a legitimate chance or a legitimate talent? Has she just took somebody else's place? Or because she says, no, I study this, I do this and I study this, I have a right to be there? I don't know. I think it's the... I'm just going to put the lead on the dog. I think she's done it for a reason, for herself, to an opportunity to get across the globe, to see the other side of the world. Come here. Come here. I think she's done it to get a chance to see the other side of the world. And who wouldn't? You know what I mean? If Team Australia said to you, come here, mate, swap your hands. If Team Australia said to you, you know, Rick, we know you're not the best golfer in the world. You don't fancy coming representing us, do you? So take you over to New Zealand. I'm like, I'd have to stop and have a think about it, I think. But there's a time when you have to stop. Now she's most probably done that now. She'll stop now because, you know, for her, she's never going to get higher than that. I think she's been memed. Is memed the new word for ridiculed? She's been memed a lot. But she might be thick enough skin to go, well, you know what? I still made it to Paris. So the question is who's right on that one, I don't know. But when do you stop? When do you stop? I came back to the UK to get back into golf, or actually went back to Holland to get back into golf. And I realised it had passed me by. And you know, you could blag it. You could literally blag it and get back into it. Not get back into it. You could blag it, but never be that standard again, and then live. I thought I don't want to live my life as a lie. There's a car coming. I didn't want to live my life as a lie, so that's the reason why I went. Do you know what it is? I'm not going to do it. I'm going to walk away, and I walked away from a lucrative career, money-wise, but I think sanity-wise, I think it was the right thing to do. So then we're at a position now where you guys know that I used to be compere at Dillon's on the Mirador Strip. We're talking a certain age group there, most probably the middle-aged section of people. And when I go there, I have a playlist, I have a set list, I've got a Spotify set list that I play. And it's a go-to. I've got like 3 different playlists. I don't base it on artists. I don't base it on genre. What I actually base them on, believe it or not, is BPM, is beats per minute. The reason being is, at 1 o'clock in the morning when everyone's like dancing on the tables and the flashing lights are going and they're all singing at the top of their Free From Desire, you don't start that at 8 o'clock in the evening. You actually do that later on in the year. You build up to that. So the beats per minute, you know, get higher and higher or faster and faster. Now this works quite successfully for a couple of years. I've since moved on from there. I'm on the hill. I've since moved on from there and I've now moved to Las Americas, and I'm loving my time there. 2 bars there, Irish Oak and the Garrison, both owned by the same people. Got a feeling they want me in the Garrison more than the Irish Oak at the moment, so we'll keep I'll keep you peeled for that. Garrison's a little bit of again older than the Irish Oak, so it might be more suited. I was in the Irish Oak last week, or a couple of weeks ago, and the bar staff are fantastic. It's just kids, man. They're in the 20s, you know, and they're really nice people. Let's get across the road. Come on. No pavements. The bar staff are amazing. You have a bit of a laugh with them, you know. They've come to Tenerife. It's like the old style, come to Tenerife for a summer job, and they stayed. All pre-Brexit. Well, there's a lot of Irish workers in there as well, so they're just coming over for the summer, just like how it used to be for the UK. Kids that could come over. So I decided, right, I thought, well, I start off with certain tunes, and there's some go-to tracks that you can use that you just go, this is going to get them. I know they're going to enjoy this because it's unoffensive, it's got a great beat to it, gets people a little bit like, it's like starting the old diesel engines, pull the choke out, turn it on, get it going on a certain rev counter, you're ready to go, and it crosses the bus coming. Come on. And the go-to track that I usually tend to use, a couple of them, but one of them, which you all know, is Black and Gold by Sam Sparrow. It's got an amazing beat to it. And it's like a timeless one. I told you, the bus. Come here. It's like a timeless classic, and it works. And about 4 weeks ago, I put this on in the Irish Oak, and we're just starting the night. I normally tend to start with that sort of track and stuff. And I'm having a laugh with the lads behind the bar, Jacob. And when I play tracks, he goes, he just mouths it, he goes, tune, tune. When he likes a track, he goes, all the way through the night, you see that. So I put this one on, and I look at him and I go, tune. He looks back at me and he goes, bit old though. I'm like, what? Bit old though. And it really, really got me thinking. I'm going to carry this on when I get to the top of the hill. You want to see this hill coming up in front of us now. See you in a minute. I'll see you at the top. I'm going up there. That's where we're heading. That's where we've come from. It's not a bad day today. It's not a bad day. Nearly there. So working these new bars now, the Irish Oak and the Garrison. I've been there now been there a couple of months, I suppose. Everyone starts to know me, I'm getting to know them, you're getting to see how it works. It's a really, really interesting concept of what they do. They've got, how do you imagine this? The only way I can explain it now, right, you've got hordes and hordes of kids in Las Americas that are having a day by the beach. Then they finish, grab a bite to eat, most probably knowing them about McDonald's or something like that. Then they go back to the room and spend a couple of hours getting ready. The girls do, lads, a lot longer than that, what I used to get ready as well, that's for sure. And do their Instagram shots that they do, or TikTok. And then they all come out of the hotels and the apartments and they start making their way down the hill into town. Eventually they all end up at the Veronicas. Our job, or the manager of, which way are you going to go, mate? The manager of the Garrison, Geordie John, he's a good lad actually. Stop, a bit old school, but he knows his beans, that's for sure. Geordie John, he's got a couple of PRs on the street, and a PR is somebody, as you're walking down the street, they'll come and introduce themselves, say, hi, this is the bar, do you want to come and have a drink? But Geordie John beats them all to it anyway. So he's doing their job really, because he's that enthusiastic, he's that, I think he's got a share in the job, share in the bar. So for him it's that important to get the bar filled. And then so I look at it and go, okay, so it's like, all these people come down the hill, imagine the David Attenborough documentaries where you got the zebra crossing the plains and they're coming down and they get to the river. And as they come across the river, the crocodiles, they're the PRs and there's John in that river, and their job is to try and catch the zebras. It's pretty much like that. We've got a window of opportunity to catch these people to get them into the bar, so because they're going to spend the money. The question is, we want them spending with us, but they're going to spend the money. So if they walk on by, they're going to spend it in a different bar. So it's like fishing. You throw your net out and you see what you can catch. Once they then come in and they're in the bar, then it's down to me. So what is my job? My job's there to entertain them. My job is there to be funny, put on a show, put on a thing that they want to watch. I used to think that was that. And then, when I worked at Dillon's, that was the case. In the actual case, it's not the case. My job is one simple job. The actual directive of my job is very, very simple. The directive is, once he gets them in the bar, my job is to keep them in the bar. That's it. Get them in the bar, you keep them in the bar. Now this is where the standing still bit comes into play. Because if I took this Spotify playlist from the Mirador strip into the new environment, and it was very successful for me and kept it, I would not be keeping in the bar. Kids, and when I say kids, I always mean under 30s really, they're very fast to folk with their feet. I was chatting with Megan the other day about TikTok, because Shelley's on TikTok now. She's starting to do all right. It's me doing TikTok for Shelley, and it's doing all right. But Megan's like, no, it needs to be faster, faster, faster. I said, what do you mean? So TikTok's fast. It's like bang, 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 bang. Otherwise they lose interest and move on. Now that is exactly the same as the work that I'm doing at the moment. It needs to be fast, bang, 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 and move on. So when Jacob said to me, I went, June, and he went, bit old though. When he said that to me, that really got me thinking. And what happens is over the space of the last 4 or 5 weeks, 6 weeks, kids have been coming up to me going, can you play this? Can you play that? I'm like, yeah, no worries at all. So I've put it on. And what they didn't realise is the moment I heard it, I've never heard these tunes. The moment I heard it, I went, oh. And I saved it to the playlist. I went, oh, I saved that to the playlist. So I've like slowly built up this little library of tunes that I've never even heard of. Now, when do you give up? This is going back to the when do you give up, mate. He's sniffing around. He's sniffing around, have a great time. Let me just, oh, you're moving everywhere. Let me just settle you up. Okay, there we go. It goes back to the point of when do you give up. When I met Shelley 6 years ago, it was only about 4 years ago I stopped listening to Radio 1. Shelley's like, you are still listening to Radio 1 at your age? I'm like, yeah. Just because you get in with it and you're in with the music. The moment I stopped listening to Radio 1, within a couple of months, I put Radio 1 back on and I couldn't listen to it. I'm like, my God, it's passed me by. Again, it's passed me by. So then you move on to different things, don't you? Like in the house now we have smooth radio on, or modern country, for instance. Because Radio 1 wasn't designed for, I was 50 most probably at the time, it wasn't designed for 50-year-olds. But now I'm finding myself back in a position where Radio 1 music is relevant to this demographic of kids that that I need to try and keep in a bar, because I need to make sure that their wallets get opened and get emptied in our bar, because they're going to get emptied in another bar instead. So I found myself last week going, I can either give up or I need to change. And that's the difference. So what I did was I went into Spotify, I typed in top 40 today's date, UK top 40 today's date, and I started listening to some of these tracks. And I did it on one of these walks actually. I put my headphones in, I just walked and listened to the track after track after track, and I'm listening to the BPMs and they're a lot faster. And I thought, I'll save that to the playlist, I'll miss that one, it's too slow, save this one. Before you knew it, I had completely new playlist of songs that I'd never heard, well, artists I've never heard of, but with some decent songs in there. And I've been playing them out, and to be honest with you, they've been working. It's been keeping the kids in the bars. Part of the acts that I do, of the comedy stuff that I do, I've had to speed it up because the attention span of kids, to keep them engaged, and that's working. I also then took in Spotify, I think it was 2024 Summer Dance Classics, because again the BPMs go up as the night goes on. Because later on at night, like 1 o'clock in the morning, the kids don't want to be listening to what they're hearing at 8 o'clock in the evening. They want it more to be dance music. So I've done that, and to be honest with you, and this is what the funny thing about it is something you go, oh my God, I couldn't even imagine listening to all that sort of stuff. A lot of these tracks on the dance stuff, which is supposed to be the real extreme, is actually old 80s and 90s dance tracks anyway, but just with a different remix on it. There's a lot of street tracks I go, I remember that. That's a copy of this, that's a copy of that, that's a copy of the other. But it's more modernised. So it tends to be working. And what I've found now is that when they're coming into the bar, when some of the bars are struggling, we're doing all right. We're tending to keep hold of them a lot more because of most probably, I've had to move my style or my set. I've had to move it through to keep relevant with what's on at the moment. And I think that's what it comes down to. It was funny because I said to Shelley, I told Shelley this. Dog's pulling me on the wrong hand. I told Shelley this the other day, what I was doing, and she said nobody studies what they're doing as much as you. And I went, what do you mean? And she went, no, just nobody studies it. What you do, you study, and it's like. Then I keep coming back to what Deep Pete used to say. I think you're ADHD, Rick. Maybe I have. Maybe I'm somewhere on the scale. I don't know. Maybe I'm somewhere on the scale. But when do you give up? When do you stop? When's the right time to stop? When's the right time to carry on and change and evolve? Because you've got to constantly evolve, I think. Yeah, I think you have to constantly evolve. I think that's what it comes down to. You've got to evolve. I don't know. Just my thoughts on it. Hope this one was interesting, hope it was helpful. As always, thank you so much for everybody on the Is Tenerife Safe video. That's got a great amount of views. That was really nice. Thank you for that. If you enjoyed it. If you're new to the channel, by the way, welcome. Thank you so much. Hopefully we'll see you again in the future. With this, I'm going to go carry on my walk. It's just having a sniff around. There's a private road, there's a little road at the side of the motorway, so it looks like I'm playing on the motorway, but it's not. See you guys on the next one. All the best, guys. Enjoy your day. Cheers.